All right, let's dive deep into this swirling NBA saga around the Golden State Warriors and the whole Jonathan Kuminga situation, because things are heating up in ways that could completely reshape the landscape for multiple teams. So, reports have been swirling that the Warriors might be eyeing Josh Giddey through a sort of double sign-and-trade maneuver. The idea is that Kuminga could be signed and traded to Chicago, and then Chicago would turn around and sign and trade Josh Giddey to Golden State. It's a complicated dance of roster management and salary cap gymnastics, but it's exactly the kind of move that could set off a cascade of dominoes across the league. Now, right off the bat, the Warriors are trying to figure out what they want to do with Kuminga. It's no secret that there's tension brewing there. Recent reports suggest that the Warriors are calling his bluff, pushing him to show up bright and early for training camp and really commit to the season ahead. But Kuminga, apparently, isn't too keen on returning to Golden State. He's looking for a fresh start somewhere else, with teams like Sacramento reportedly on his radar. This standoff creates a tricky scenario because Kuminga's future has big implications for Golden State's financial flexibility and roster construction. And then you've got the added layer of players like D'Anthony Melton, Al Horford, and Gary Payton II, three veterans who have been linked to possible agreements with the Warriors. According to some buzz, there could be handshake deals or verbal understandings in place for these guys to sign there. But here's the catch. The whole Kuminga drama is throwing a wrench into those plans. If Golden State pulls off that sign-in trade for Josh Giddey, they'd be right up against the hard cap at the first apron, which limits their ability to sign all these complementary players they're interested in. Remember, they're roughly $25 million under the apron now, but if Giddey gets a deal north of $23 million, that basically eats up almost all the space they had to work with. This puts them in a bind, because suddenly the Warriors might only be able to bring in one of those veteran pieces, not all three. And that's where other teams start to creep back into the picture. Sacramento, for example, could swoop in to try and grab one of these guys if Golden State can't fit them all in. And interestingly, the Lakers seem to be playing the patient game here, watching how this all unfolds before making any bold moves. There's a possibility that if the Warriors lock in the Giddey trade, then Al Horford, Melton, or Gary Payton could become available, which opens the door for the Lakers to swoop in and sign them. That's where things get fascinating, because these are players who would actually fit really well with the Lakers' current roster construction and championship aspirations. Imagine adding a defensive-minded, versatile wing like D'Anthony Melton or a steady veteran presence like Al Horford who can stretch the floor and bring leadership on both ends. Suddenly, the Lakers could upgrade their bench depth and roster versatility in a big way without overspending or rushing into deals that don't make sense. The whole scenario also ties into ongoing trade rumors involving players like Andrew Wiggins. Right now, the Wiggins trade talk includes names like Dalton Knecht, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent going to Golden State in exchange. But it's looking like the Lakers might be overpaying if they make that move right now. Why? Because patience could actually be their biggest asset. If you hold off, you might not only get Wiggins later on, but also gain negotiation leverage thanks to developments with other young players like Jared Vanderbilt or Jake LaRavia, who could step up and reduce the need for that trade altogether. Picture this. Vanderbilt shoots around 37% from three-point range. Nothing flashy, but solid. And if he continues improving his shooting and overall game, maybe the Lakers won't even have to trade for Wiggins. Or if they still want Wiggins, they could approach that negotiation from a position of strength rather than desperation, saying, "We want you, but we don't need you at any cost." That changes the entire dynamic and could save them assets and cap space. Now, bringing it back to Golden State, if they do move forward with the Giddey trade and pay him that big contract, it could completely shut the door on bringing in Horford or Melton. So, for the Lakers, that's an opportunity, a kind of confirmation that those players might be on the market, looking for new teams. Horford and Melton might even give the Lakers a commitment if roster spots open up, essentially telling them, if you make the space, we're ready to don the purple and gold. That's huge because it justifies potential overpaying on players like Wiggins. Suddenly, the Lakers wouldn't be trading just for Wiggins. They'd be trading for a package that includes Wiggins, Melton, and Horford. The value equation shifts entirely. This potential package would give the Lakers a deep and versatile roster, one that combines stars like LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic with reliable veterans and rising talent. You start to see a lineup that balances star power with defensive intensity, shooting, playmaking, and versatility across all positions. Horford offers floor spacing and veteran savvy. Melton brings three-point shooting and the ability to create offense, and Wiggins adds athleticism and two-way impact. It's a scenario that not only improves the starting lineup, but also bolsters the bench, making the Lakers a serious threat come playoff time. But of course, everything hinges on how the Kuminga saga plays out. If Kuminga goes to Sacramento, that could spark a chain reaction of moves throughout the league as teams adjust to new roster realities. On the other hand, if he lands in Phoenix, that might not trigger as many shifts since Phoenix already seems set with their core group. The Chicago Bulls to Giddey trade also remains a wild card, as it could handcuff Golden State financially and limit their ability to sign additional pieces. The whole situation highlights how delicate and interconnected these NBA roster puzzles are. One move, especially involving a player with a sizable contract or potential, can ripple across multiple teams, influencing trades, signings, and long-term planning. The Warriors and Lakers are both playing a high-stakes game here, balancing cap space, player desires, and roster fit, try to find the perfect mix that can push them toward championship contention. Meanwhile, the Lakers' approach of waiting and watching, keeping their powder dry, and holding out for the right confirmation on available players seems wise. There's no need to rush into a trade and overpay unless there's a clear strategic reason that justifies the cost. History shows that justified overpays happen when teams are filling a glaring hole, like when the Lakers acquire Mark Williams to shore up their center position, a move that made sense both immediately and long-term. But making a trade, just for the sake of it or out of desperation, could backfire. Starting with the Lakers, patience is truly their greatest asset right now. The front office has an opportunity to observe the shifting NBA landscape carefully and pick their spots wisely. While there is obvious allure in securing immediate impact players like Andrew Wiggins, it's crucial to assess whether such a move genuinely elevates the team's championship chances or just fills a headline. There's a real danger in trading valuable assets or cap space too early or too hastily, especially if the potential return doesn't fit neatly into a broader strategic framework. One of the key points in this ongoing saga is how much the Jonathan Kuminga situation is creating a bottleneck for Golden State. If the Warriors commit to bringing Josh Giddey in through the proposed sign-in trade, that limits their ability to sign veterans like Al Horford and De'Anthony Melton. This creates a unique opportunity for the Lakers to swoop in and capitalize on the availability of those players, who bring specific skill sets that would mesh well with Los Angeles' current roster configuration. For instance, Al Horford's versatility is invaluable. He can play multiple frontcourt positions, space the floor with his three-point shooting, and bring a level of defensive intelligence and leadership that younger players can learn from. His presence alone could stabilize the Lakers' bench unit, giving them a seasoned big man capable of filling in for LeBron James or Anthony Davis when needed. Meanwhile, De'Anthony Melton offers the Lakers another perimeter creator who can initiate offense, defend multiple positions, and shoot the three effectively, which fits perfectly into head coach Darvin Ham's system, emphasizing versatility and switchability. The question then becomes, how do the Lakers get creative to open up roster spots and cap space to sign these guys? It's not as simple as waving a magic wand. The team will likely have to engage in salary dumps, trades, or possibly even waive players to clear room. That might involve moving guys like Dalton Connect or other pieces who are less essential to the core strategy. The idea would be to create flexibility that allows the Lakers to lock in multiple complementary pieces, not just one marquee player. What makes this especially interesting is the idea of bundling trades. Instead of viewing Wiggins, Horford, and Melton as isolated acquisitions, the Lakers could approach these as interconnected moves that, together, significantly boost the team's depth and balance. By trading some combination of assets, whether draft picks, young players, or salary exceptions, They can land this trio and construct a roster that's not only more talented, but also more versatile and capable of adapting to different playoff matchups. Of course, this plan hinges on the Warriors' decisions and how the Jonathan Kuminga saga plays out. If Kuminga heads to Sacramento, that could set off a chain reaction, making these moves more feasible. Sacramento could engage in trades to upgrade their roster, freeing up or acquiring players in the process. This domino effect might open up unexpected opportunities for both the Lakers and other teams to maneuver. The key takeaway is that the league is in a fluid state, with front offices actively seeking advantages through both player acquisition and salary cap management. Meanwhile, the Lakers must also weigh the potential downsides of waiting. Patience is valuable, but there's a risk that other teams could outmaneuver them or that injured players might not return to full strength, which would increase the urgency to make moves. Timing is critical. Too early, and the Lakers overpay or rush into ill-fitting deals. Too late, and the best opportunities could be snapped up by rivals. Striking this balance requires a sharp understanding of the market, player motivations, and the evolving strategic needs of the roster. Another angle to consider is the player psychology. Players like Horford and Melton reportedly have preferences about where they want to play. If they see the Lakers making a serious push, that could sway their decisions in favor of signing in Los Angeles, especially if the Warriors are capped out and can't offer a competitive role or contract. This means the Lakers need to communicate clearly with these players and agents, signaling both their interest and their commitment to building a championship-caliber team around them. On the flip side, the Warriors are under pressure to balance short-term competitiveness with long-term sustainability. Bringing in a player like Giddey on a large contract locks up significant cap space, which could hinder their ability to fill out the roster with reliable veterans. This creates a challenge. Do they bet heavily on Giddey's development and potential impact, or do they try to maintain flexibility to sign multiple complementary pieces? The answer to that question will shape Golden State's trajectory over the next several years and their chances of staying a top contender. Looking beyond these immediate moves, it's worth considering how the league's evolving salary cap structure and collective bargaining agreement rules influence these decisions. The existence of hard caps, apron limits, and various exceptions means teams can't just throw money at players. They have to strategize carefully about timing, sequencing, and the kinds of deals they pursue. The Warriors and Lakers are among the most savvy front offices in the league, so they'll be exploring every possible avenue, from sign-in trades to mid-season adjustments and creative cap maneuvers. Meanwhile, other players and teams will be watching this situation closely. If the Warriors are constrained, that could benefit teams like Sacramento, Chicago, and the Lakers. Sacramento, in particular, could emerge as a key player if they can capitalize on the ripple effects. The Bulls, meanwhile, could leverage their own assets to navigate these shifting dynamics. All of this adds layers of complexity and intrigue to the NBA's off-season chess game. There's also a broader strategic implication. Teams that build flexibility and adaptability into their roster construction tend to weather these uncertain periods better. The Lakers, by holding back and waiting for the right moment, can avoid overcommitting to a single player or strategy. They keep options open for trade deadline moves or free agency signings later in the season. This kind of patient, multifaceted approach increases the likelihood that they'll find the right mix of talent, fit, and financial sense. In contrast, teams that jump early or make aggressive moves without full clarity risk getting stuck with less-than-ideal contracts or roster configurations. We've seen this play out in the past with teams that overspend for a win-now piece only to struggle with flexibility down the line. The Warriors themselves experienced that when they had to part ways with key players due to cap constraints. As the training camp approaches, expect the conversation to intensify. Front offices will be crunching numbers, gauging player readiness, and negotiating behind closed doors. The pressure will mount to finalize rosters and set a clear vision for the upcoming season. Fans will hear more rumors, whispers of deals, and possibly some surprise announcements as the pieces start falling into place. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NBA community and ignited intense speculation across sports media, the Los Angeles Lakers appear to be orchestrating one of the most audacious roster shakeups in recent memory. Rumors are swirling that on a single, frenetic night, the Lakers managed to acquire two high-profile players, Jeremy Grant and Andrew Wiggins, effectively setting the stage for a seismic shift in the team's dynamics and ambitions. The prospect of these two athletes joining forces in LA is fueling conversations far beyond the usual trade chatter, as insiders hint that this dual acquisition could be more than just a passing possibility. It might be a calculated strategy aimed at revitalizing the Lakers' championship aspirations. Sources close to the front office reportedly revealed that the timing and coordination involved in landing both players simultaneously is unprecedented, raising questions about the underlying negotiations and the Lakers' willingness to reconfigure their roster boldly. This possible double coup is already stirring excitement and skepticism among fans and analysts alike, wondering how these additions might complement the existing squad, especially considering the Lakers' historical appetite for big-name talent. Speculation abounds about the financial and tactical gymnastics needed to facilitate such a night of activity, with many waiting anxiously for official confirmation that could confirm or dismiss this electrifying rumor. As the Lakers continue to navigate the highly competitive landscape of the NBA, the whispered arrival of Jeremy Grant and Andrew Wiggins on the same evening hints at a strategic overhaul designed to inject new energy into the franchise's core. Jeremy Grant, known for his versatility and defensive prowess, is seen as a perfect fit to bolster the Lakers' frontcourt, offering a blend of experience and athleticism that could address some lingering weaknesses. Meanwhile, Andrew Wiggins brings a dynamic scoring ability and athleticism that, if integrated effectively, could significantly enhance the Lakers' offensive options. The possibility of these two players arriving simultaneously suggests a calculated gamble by the Lakers' management to strike a balance between offense and defense, signaling a readiness to challenge rival teams more aggressively. Behind the scenes, speculation hints at complex negotiations involving multiple teams, salary cap maneuvers, and asset exchanges that might have made this ambitious night of acquisitions possible. The buzz is that the Lakers are not just chasing short-term success, but are aiming to build a sustainable contender capable of deep playoff runs. This narrative has sparked widespread debate about the potential chemistry challenges and strategic realignments that would come with melding new talents into an established lineup in such a compressed time frame. The implications of potentially acquiring both Jeremy Grant and Andrew Wiggins simultaneously extend beyond just the basketball court, fueling rumors about a renewed Lakers identity that embraces versatility, depth, and star power. Observers note that the Lakers' front office has been under increasing pressure to deliver a championship-caliber roster, and these rumored moves could be interpreted as a decisive response to that demand. Fans are buzzing with theories about how the Lakers could restructure their offensive sets and defensive schemes to accommodate the unique skill sets of Grant and Wiggins, imagining lineups that could shift dynamically between perimeter shooting and physical inside play. Meanwhile, skeptics question how the coaching staff will manage the integration process, given the differing play styles and personalities involved. The intrigue deepens when considering the impact on locker room chemistry and leadership roles, especially with established stars potentially needing to adjust to the arrival of these new contributors. Industry insiders suggest that the Lakers' bold night of acquisitions could be a message to the league that the team is willing to take risks and reinvent itself to reclaim its place at the pinnacle of NBA success, fueling a narrative of transformation driven by urgency and ambition. The speculation surrounding this rumored double acquisition night also invites a closer look at the financial and contractual intricacies that would make such a maneuver feasible, underscoring the Lakers' willingness to push the boundaries of their salary cap space and trade assets. Analysts highlight that to bring in both Jeremy Grant and Andrew Wiggins simultaneously, the Lakers would likely need to execute a series of carefully choreographed trades and signings, involving multiple players and draft picks, to create the necessary flexibility. This kind of front office dexterity signals a readiness to sacrifice depth or future assets in exchange for immediate competitive advantages, which has both excited and concerned fans. The rumor mill churns with suggestions that this might be part of a larger strategic vision, where the Lakers are attempting to assemble a super rotation that can compete at the highest level without sacrificing balance. Yet, this approach also raises questions about the long-term sustainability of such aggressive roster moves and whether the Lakers are betting heavily on short-term gains over future flexibility. In any case, the mere possibility of landing these two players in one night has injected fresh hope and anticipation into a franchise hungry for success, while also triggering debate about the potential risks involved in such a high-stakes gamble. As the Los Angeles Lakers prepare for what could be a transformative offseason, the rumor of acquiring Jeremy Grant and Andrew Wiggins on the same night has created a ripple effect of anticipation, uncertainty, and excitement among fans, analysts, and competitors alike. This potential dual acquisition is viewed not only as a bold basketball decision, but as a statement of intent from a franchise eager to restore its dominance in the NBA hierarchy. The narrative emerging from these swirling rumors is one of a team willing to shake up its roster dramatically, taking calculated risks to reshape its future and contend for championships in a league that is becoming increasingly competitive and unpredictable. Observers are keenly watching how this possible move might influence the Lakers' strategic direction, coaching decisions, and team culture in the coming months. Whether this night of explosive roster activity will materialize remains to be seen, but the mere prospect has already shifted the conversation around the Lakers, reinvigorating discussions about their place in the title race and their appetite for high-profile acquisitions. As the story continues to unfold, the basketball world remains on edge, waiting for confirmation of what could be one of the most impactful nights in recent NBA history. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.